Who doesn't love Eggs Benedict? I know I do. It's my favorite brunch. As much as I love Eggs Benny and I love brunch, I just don't go out for it like I used to. Number one, I'm pretty particular about my ingredients, and my ingredients at home are always better. Number two, I find that a lot of restaurants are just cheap and cheerful these days, meaning that people aren't using the traditional ingredients. 9 times out of 10, that sauce is coming out of a package, and I don't want that. When I found out that Eggs Benedict was created in 1894, I didn't feel so bad putting my own spin on it. As great as the hollandaise is, it's rich, it's buttery, but I like a bit more of a pop. Enter béarnaise sauce. Same idea, butter and eggs. It's also got a star ingredient, and that's tarragon. This makes this sauce pop. Through the process of changing that sauce to suit the egg better, in my opinion, I also had to stop and think about that English muffin. It seems to me it's often dry, and now that I really think about it, it's not all that suitable to the dish. It's kind of like an arranged marriage. It seems to lack passion. The dietary saboteur in this meal is that English muffin. It's starchy, it's carby, and it's going to make that meal harder for your body to digest. So if we're going to indulge in this meal, we want to make it as easy on our bodies as we can. Hence, the creation of my new bun. I want something spongy that's going to soak up that sauce so I don't have to use a ton of sauce. I want to scale that back, but I also want to keep that richness going. So I'm looking for something more porous. That got me thinking about the crumpet. I love crumpets. I don't eat them very often anymore because in the package, they always have things I don't want in them. Then I started to think about another bread I really love that soaks up juice, and that is Ethiopian injera. Now, the cool thing about injera is that you ferment it overnight. So what it does is it breaks down the grain. In traditional Ethiopian injera, they use teff flour. I thought, well, if they could use teff, they can use another ancient grain, spelt. I can get that locally. And we are creating a crumpet injera style bun. Something designed to soak up all that buttery richness. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to get our dough ready. Now, I'm using spelt today. Spelt is an ancient grain. When I'm experimenting, I'm all about making a smaller batch. I want to get to know this recipe and perfect it. So I'm just going to go with 1.5 mugs, just for a rough guideline. Now, a little Himalayan salt. And then I'm going to take a little baking powder and just put in a bit there. That's it. Now we're just going to sift this through. Now, of course, I don't have a sifter, so we are using a strainer today. Don't let anybody tell you you need all these pieces of equipment to do anything. You don't. Done. The whole idea is just to fluff it up a bit. Off with the rings, because we need our hands for this one. Now, the crumpet calls for yeast. We're not doing that because we're doing sort of an injera bread. So in fact, we're actually going to ferment this for 24 hours. Now, my trick to get this activating faster is soda water. You want it to be room temperature. Now you're just going to start mixing up, adding more water. Now, the crumpet is like a dough. Injera is more like a pancake. We're just rubbing that around. We want to get to know the dough. Feel it out. The thing is, you could use a mixer, all those things, but it just makes more of a mess. think the planned obsolescence committee just continues to get together, trying to get us sucked into having all of these pieces of equipment that are completely unnecessary and just take up space. I like things to be simple. It's easier that way. Now that's the consistency we're looking for. I'm going to put it in a clean dish and cover it for 24 hours. And in that time, it's going to ferment, breaking down the spelt even further. This is where digestibility comes in. There are a lot of gluten intolerant people out there. But the reason is with these grains, they have a hard outer coating that contains phytic acid. And phytic acid kind of works against the digestion process. So by doing this step, you change the whole nature of the bun into something super digestible. This is the one I did yesterday. And again, this has been going for 24 hours. I want some bubbles to start appearing, which they have. And that tells me that the natural bacteria in here is activating and breaking down, and that's what I want. What also is going to happen, which can be a little shocking, is that you're going to get a sour smell. That's okay. This can ferment for days and days, and the longer you do it, the more digestible it gets. This is first step. Your guts will be so happy. So today, for something a little different, I'm going to cook my bun on my Himalayan salt block. Now, I've done it in a pan once before. It worked great. The Himalayan salt block, a whole new egg. I love adventure. Now, the first thing I need to do is get a little oil on these because the dough is going to go right inside. I'm using some coconut oil. Let's give it a little rub. Now I also have a little experimental idea. That is to use this terracotta flower pot as sort of like a little oven. It's an idea. So I'm just going to get that hot on here. Now, as much as I like to change things up, I'm also a bit of a traditionalist. I definitely want to have my back bacon. So that's what we're having. But I also have a little addition. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit on this. And I'm just going to lightly saute all that before it goes on my bread. Let's check that out. Ooh, it's getting hot. All right. Of course, you need to do the béarnaise. Don't worry, it's lickety-split. First ingredient, you need your tarragon. I want you to chop that up. Next, what did I tell you to have in the fridge all the time? Shallots. You just need one. Again, these are the perfect size, always. Now again, you could put this all in your food processor. This is like a very, very quick process, so obviously I don't really think we need it. We're just going to chop that up. Nothing needs to be uniform about this. This is all about flavor. Putting the tarragon and the shallot in the pot. Next, I'm going to put about 10 peppercorns in there. Some Himalayan salt. Now, what we're doing today is a reduction. So I'm going to pour about 1/8 of a cup of vinegar. I'm using apple cider today. I prefer to use apple cider because of the health benefits. Why use less? I don't understand. What I'm doing here is a reduction. So as I cook up my salt, my pepper, my tarragon, my shallot, all the flavors meld together, that apple cider vinegar is going to reduce, creating a very pungent mixture. And we're going to grind that up right into our sauce. So I want to get this pot hot and get this mixture reduced. So this is where all the fun begins. We are going to use these mason jar lids as our mold. Watch. We're going to take batter just drop it in. A little bit of a fire going on there. We're going to fill up those cups. Of course, they're not all the same size. That would be no fun. Oh, perfect. Now, this is a total experiment. So what I need to do is drop this batter on and then catch it with a pot, or at least that's the plan. And then catch it. Again, 100% experimental. Now, of course, I've got the water on for the poached eggs. And here's the trick. It's a little vinegar in the water. That is going to help the eggs stay together. It really works. Of course, everything's cooking away. So we're going to separate these eggs for this béarnaise sauce. I always find it's best to have them room temperature. Now, we're not using the whites for this, just the yolks. Listo. And my buns are just cooking away here. That one's overflowing a bit, but that's okay. Again, this is all an experiment. Now, my reduction is done. There's still a little bit liquid in there. I don't want a lot, but I'm ready for that. Now, my water for my eggs is just about ready as well. So now we're going to complete the béarnaise sauce. We have our egg yolks. And of course, I had melted butter before. I want them to be close to equal in volume. What we're going to do is we are going to put our reduced tarragon mixture into the food processor. Get it all out. And then we're going to grind said mixture into the processor. We're going to keep that on and play a little game. A little butter, a little yolk. A little butter, a little yolk. A little butter. Oh, let's do both at once. Make sure you get all that egg yolk. Listo. I don't know if you've ever seen a perfect béarnaise sauce, but now you have. I can hardly wait. Everything is cruising along. This is awesome. I'm ready to get my poached eggs in. No special dish, we just crack them right in. Now the beauty of using that vinegar is it's going to keep that egg nice and together. Just be patient. You gotta go slow, be gentle. Ready? I'm going to turn on this back bacon on to low. I just want that maple syrup to caramelize a little bit on it prior to going on my bun. Now, of course, my buns, the little crumpet holes are all popping up. Very cool. My eggs are in, my nice free-range yolks. And of course, my little Injera crumpet creations. And a little bit of my back bacon with my maple syrup. I'm kind of curious about my little mini oven here, so let's check it out because it looks super hot. Oh, it's kind of stuck. Oh my, that's really cool. Where these ones are still trying to cook at the top, because of course I'm not flipping them. This one has cooked through. That was a very cool idea. Well, let's get ready to plate this. So now our buns are ready. I want you to see what I mean. Look at all the spongy holes we created. Number one, this is going to help soak up all that buttery goodness, but it's also going to be easier to digest. The trick is getting it out of my little rings. My challenge is these are a little hot trying to pop them out. Would it be more ideal, obviously, to let them cool? And we're ready. So next, I've got my ham. I like 2 on each one. Make sure you get some of that maple syrup. You'll need your slotted spoon. So all you're going to do is drain it and lay it on top. It's perfectly cooked. Breakfast is a super tough meal to prepare for people. The eggs have to be just right. People are so picky. We're ready for sauce. And look at that. The sauce is perfect. The egg lays on the bun perfectly. And I really think I created that spongeability to soak up all of that wonderful sauce. And as you can see, I didn't have to use a whole lot. That's the idea. We're still getting our cake and eating it too. What I love about this is that I have effectively defeated the one saboteur in this meal. The bun stays together really nice. It's not crumbly. No, it's very cool. Let's taste. Some days I amaze myself. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would hit a like and of course subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you there. As always, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Thrive at 50. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey of deconstructing an old favorite and making it my own. I hope this helps you demystify a few things and also get you into the kitchen a little more and start having some fun with it. I have a lot of fun in the kitchen, and you can too.